Hey, I'm Kev here. I'm and some more coverage from Season 5 of Formula Xbox. Round 7 of the season took place at the Circuit Gilles Villenueve in Montreal, Canada. What a fantastic circuit. It's one of my favourites on the Canada in real life, and one of my favourites to drive in this game. It's all about the long straights, the chicanes, and it's got a couple of curves as well. But we're not going to continue our good start to the season where we scored in every round, but we've been very fortunate though. Take advantage of people's issues with this game, such as the disconnections happening left, right, and centre. Of course, there have been a couple of issues in races as well, but I'm amazed I haven't been disconnected from a race with my terrible connection. It takes me days to upload videos, but touch wood, I'll somehow keep being connected to these races. And this circuit is again one of those where I can't really depend on doing well pace rise. I'm just not gelling with this game. Probably I'll never gel with this game like F1 2013, but it's a bit worse with this game, unfortunately. As the setup was fine, I do a reasonable qualifying lap, as you will see on the prime tyres, but pace rise, unlike F1 2013, just not being able to just put it all together, as I'm pushing quite hard on this lap. I believe on the limit scale I'm in the 90s. I believe I'm on the 9 out of 10 on the limit, but just not there. And so in qualifying sessions I generally try and do a prime run, and then I do an option run later on in the session near the end. But mostly this season, as you see in races, I'm generally just doing a prime one because the pace isn't there, and I don't really see how doing an option run will put me high up on the grid, and I'm generally going to be in the second half of the midfield. Why bother most of the time just doing an option run? So that's why you generally see me qualify on the primes, and that's why I'm at the back of the grid once again, as unfortunately Sam couldn't do a lap in anger in his Marussia before he got disconnected. But it's Silent Mole on pole on the Mercedes, head of the Force India with Mr. Jokers, Pro Racing in third, and my teammate in fourth. Fantastic qualifying for him, and fantastic for Zinka as well in the McLaren. And in the top five as Hickey Nook didn't get disconnected, he's ahead of me on the grid in ninth as we wait for the 5 lights to appear and go out before we do 18 laps around this fantastic circuit, as we do a very average start and have to start in behind the Lotus of Hickey heading into turn 1. And we get into the back of him slightly, but it didn't seem to affect either of us as we go through turn 2. And that's majorly affected of him. He's been wiped out, and so did the McLaren of Zinka, I believe, got affected by that majorly, as well as Mercedes, Red Bull. It's just a bit of a shuffle in that corner. Unfortunately, it's claimed a couple of victims, as we're a couple of seconds ahead of Sam when we're behind Case Legend in the Mercedes and trying to hang on to this midfield group. But as you can see, going on to lap 3, we had just slipped back slightly. We're going to slip back further throughout this stint, but we still got Sam. We did have Sam behind us in the Marussia, but he's been abducted. Unfortunately, it seems to happen all the time in these races, and he did rejoin, but then a couple of laps later he got abducted again. But we're building a gap to Hickey because he's already pitted along with Zinka, so we're about 25 seconds ahead of him, and we have Drastic Midget about 5 seconds ahead of us. But there was front ring on the exit of that last corner. Did the World Champions claim a new victim? And we see a slow Williams ahead of us going into turn 1. Did it affect Callum CK? I believe he is driving the Williams, as we've got Silent Mole leading this race. And yes, it is him in the Williams. He's the Flying Scot, but he flew too close to that World of Champions, like many before him in this game and in real life as well, of course. And so we have Drastic Midget ahead of us in 6th now. We're up to 7th on our prime tyres, but we're going very slowly. We're losing seconds per lap here, and so I'm thinking maybe I should stop early. Should I maybe stop this lap or the next lap? When should I really stop? And I totally forgot where this corner was. I missed my turn in, missed my brake in, and you don't want to be cutting that corner because you're just like a fish on dry land there with the way it slows you up. But on the next lap I did make my pit stop finally, and I probably should have pitted a couple of laps earlier because the tyres weren't really affected around this circuit. It's very strange, but going into the pit lane we lose our overlord and host Drastic Midget, and along with that is Zinka and Callum. They've been gone as well, and it's bloody frustrating and annoying that you've seen so many people getting disconnected, especially the host can't stay connected to his own bloody session. dreadful Codemasters. But we had an almost 4-second stop, as my guys were probably distracted by that. But we had to pit early anyway, because on this previous lap, Hickey was faster than us. So if we stayed up a lap longer, we probably would have rejoined alongside him, or just, you know, in front of him. But we got a couple of second gap to him as we rejoined. We're about 15 seconds behind my teammate Sir Lane on lap 9, and on lap 12 now, Casey Legend has pitted, and so we are about 10 seconds behind him. We've now built that gap to Hickey as we're putting the hammer down on our fresh options of about a 5-second gap there, and we've got Silent Mole still leading this race as we go through the chicane. Got a bit wide, clip our front ring, but that won't really affect us for the rest of this race, as I was forever alone in this second half of this race. I saw no one else. My engineer was barely speaking to me. I guess he fell asleep. I saw no one pit. And so, yeah, this is just a lonely race for me. I do apologise for my lack of highlights here, as Mr. Jokers wins the race, as there was just nothing to show. Nothing really happened from my perspective. It was the most boring race I've ever had in this league, sadly, I have to report. But well done to Mr. Jokers, ahead of Silent Mole. Pro Racing was third despite a penalty, I believe, and Case Legend was fourth. Ahead of my teammate in fifth. He crossed the line in fourth, but had a 10-second penalty, damn it. But great to see him get a top 5 and, you know, really show his pace this race. But we had the same result in Monaco, just drivers reverse. Hickey 7th, then the disconnected behind him. But it's an out fortune, and I'll see you next time.